Among the chores that we had to do was fix dinner, and I just really wanted to make a nice dinner for everybody. So I had all the best intentions of the world, just kind of making something really good and yummy.
You know, it's very delicate. All the electronics are very delicate, and electricity, you know, the where you could plug in to run the little mini wok and the teapot and toaster. It had a cute little sign that said, you know, one plug at a time or one appliance at a time. I can't remember exactly what it was.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna cook the rice, I'm gonna saute the fish and do all this stuff at the same time. And then, you know, like nothing's working.
Unfortunately, Mike plugged in like all three. And it blew out the fuse for it. And it's like this total depression came on.
When I found that out, I was just like, I was really devastated.
I was like, what? I can't have toast? You know, I'm gonna be eating yogurt for the next how many days? But it was pretty funny. But at the time, I remember feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't have toast. That's really depressing.
Well, I don't know about anything else, but at least the boat never died on me. You know, Captain Pete, if he was pissed about it, they never really caught anything from him, and he became really preoccupied with the surgery for Jen.
And the day before I left on Earthrace, they went to the emergency room and they had to like gouge out the glass from my foot. Unfortunately, the infections didn't, you know, go away. So while on Earthrace, I had this huge bump on my foot that kept growing and getting bigger and bigger. And after a while, I couldn't walk. I couldn't put my foot in my shoe. So at that point, Pete had said, "Oh yeah, I can definitely. I have the equipment. I have the equipment to take off those stitches." So.
Jennifer here has got a bad infection in her foot, and she went to the doctor and he lanced it and put 2 stitches in. And it's time for the stitches to come out. So Dr. Bethune gets to have a go.
When you're on a kind of an adventure, or you're in this specific one where there's huge gaps of time where there's nothing to do, you kind of start to think of the mundane as being kind of funny or being kind of interesting.
There we go, look at that!
Little things like my foot being pussy became like, you know, that was the thing that night. That was the entertainment that night.
Just outside of Indonesian waters, Earthrace and her intrepid crew are granted a welcome reprieve.
If blowing up the kitchen was the lowest point, the high point of being on Earthrace was they had this calmest stretch of water. They were able to turn off the radar and let us all go up on deck, and we just were cruising around on this totally glassy sea, and we just got to hang out and talk, and it was really beautiful.
How cool is that, eh?
And Jen, I think, was being really reflective and got a really great interview from her. Just, I think, really speaking from the heart.
So spend heighten my experience anywhere at this length. So that's why I kind of like, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I've met some amazing people on this boat, and just the conversation and the learning alone has been amazing. Knowing where they came from and how they got started. Biodiesel. The advertisement biodiesel. It's kind of cool back then, but sorry when it race biodiesel. It's a viable alternative to regular fuel. And it's a viable alternative to alternative fuels. Maybe it's cheaper, and maybe if it's not cheaper, it's better for the environment. I'm very proud of the fact that we're one of the best environmentally conscious countries in the world. So this is consistent with us as a people, I think, also.
The break in weather and relatively calm waters allowed Earthrace to make up excellent time. But according to Captain Pete Bethune, they would need to keep the current pace if they were to meet another important deadline.
Yeah, we got to get to Kota Kinabalu by about 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. But as long as we keep going at this pace and we don't have any hang-ups, we should get there about between 10 and midday. So we've got a couple of hours slack up our sleeve. You never know on a voyage like this, so I've just got my fingers crossed for you.
Unfortunately, Earthrace's luck would not hold up.
Make that same noise last time, Jennifer?
No, it did not. It just died.
With Earthrace floating helplessly at sea, Engineer Hedley Pierce and Captain Pete Bethune work quickly to troubleshoot the ship's sophisticated machinery.
Sounds like there's quite a bit of water in the engine, so hopefully we're not stuck here too long. Of course, we're trying to get Jenny to the airport on time. Nothing like a little bit of drama, huh? Are you nervous?
No, I'm not nervous. I actually feel badly for them. I think their cause is much more worthy than mine. If I miss a plane, it's kind of whatever. It's not a big deal. I can survive. But if these guys don't make the race, it's kind of a 4 or 5 years down the tubes. So I feel very badly for them. I hope it works out.
You just sat at the wheel, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I swear I did it.
Very reluctantly, Earthrace had to take on regular diesel in Palau. And it's a shame that Palau would have that distinction, but it just didn't work out. We didn't have biofuel, they couldn't ship it in, so they took on diesel.
And they learned that there was a lot of water in the diesel fuel. And it's unclear as to what the source of the water was.
That's a big part of the reason why they need to promote biodiesel throughout the islands, because maybe fossil fuel won't be here forever.
You see this should be like clear, you should be able to look straight through that. So that's actually got a shitload of water just hanging around inside it. Yeah, never a dull moment on Earthrace. It's always good fun. Cheers!
Just as it seemed the worst was finally over, Earthrace would face an even bigger obstacle.
There's just a lot of debris, and there was a pretty big log that came through, and it was one of those moments where nobody else was paying attention. It seemed like I was the only one paying attention. And I said, "Look out for that log!" And then we hit the log.
Sorry, too late.
Engine controls were in neutral, so we were slowing down and we didn't have the props rotating, so it's only the port props okay. I don't know if the starboard one was damaged. Where did they go through? They went through just this side, didn't they?
I think it hit both.
Yeah,
I feel like it hit both.
So there's a boat coming up behind us here. I was looking at that thing coming up and I was thinking, it's quick.
A warship came up from behind us, and I was really excited, and they referred to themselves on the radio as the warship. So I wanted to go out to go check it out, and he literally grabbed me and said, "No, don't go out, stay down below." He later explained that the reason he didn't want me to go out is some of these ships, if they find out that there's a woman on board, would come on board just to... If you go out on deck, they'll think that there's something weird going on, or they'll want to board.